Welcome back to Scotting Movies, everybody. What if I told you that uh, one of the most emotionally brutal films of the 1980s came dressed in silk, powdered wigs, and the softest candlelight imaginable, and that it was glorious, like watching a car crash in a Versailles ballroom? Dangerous Liaisons is the movie we're talking about today, and it isn't here to make you feel good. It's here to destroy your soul and do it beautifully. So let's talk about what Dangerous Liaisons is about. Set in pre revolutionary France, Dangerous Liaisons follows two aristocrats, the Marquis de Merteuil, played by Glenn Close, and the Vicomte de Valmont, played by John Malkovich, who use love as a weapon and honesty as a liability. They manipulate the hearts of others just for sport, but beneath all that scheming is a buried, unspoken desire and love for each other. They'd rather ruin themselves than admit that. Around them orbit their victims, the innocent, the sincere, the pious, and one by one they fall. If Pride and Prejudice is what happens when love wins, Dangerous Liaisons is what happens when love dies screaming. So let's talk first about the performances. You know how I like to dig into those first. There's five of them that I want to talk about because there's a lot of important characters in this movie. First of all, Glenn Close as Madame de, or what is it? Sorry, Merteuil, the Marquis de Merteuil. She's an ice queen who slices with a smile. Every word is calculated. Every look is weaponized. She's not just cruel. She's convinced that she's righteous. She's convinced that she's doing the right thing, and that's even scarier. Um, Watching her unravel at the end when her mask is finally slipping. I mean, that's not just acting, it's surgery on the screen, taking apart her performance little by little when everything is is removed, all the facade and um, all the true intentions that are all revealed at the end. Uh, she completely crumbles, and you see it little by little. And I'll talk about that scene in just a little bit as well. But she is so good in this movie, Glenn Close. Uh, she is one of the most evil characters I think that was portrayed in this year. She's an absolute villain. She's not like a sadistic psychopathic killer or anything like that. Which we had some of those kind of villains in this year, but what she does is almost just as cruel because she takes the innocent and the naive and the pious and perfectly um, poised and destroys them because she wants to. John Malkovich plays the Vicomte de Valmont, and he plays him like a snake in velvet. He seduces like it's a science experiment, uh, gets them to love him, and then completely throws them out, crushing their souls, crushing their hearts. He treats intimacy like a game of chess. Every move is about dominance, even when sometimes he has to lose a pawn in that game, to take a step back. It's all for his strategy of destroying a heart. The twist is that when real emotion sneaks in, and it does, when he falls, he collapses like a house of cards. Again, this movie is about the disintegration of love and class uh, um, and innocence. And you see it as well in these two completely non-innocent people, very cruel people, that they also get their comeuppance. They also fall at some point, and watching it is like watching a train wreck. These two don't destroy each other because they're dumb. They destroy each other because they're afraid to be vulnerable. And that's really the tragedy here. So let's talk about the three victims, the performances there. Michelle Pfeiffer is heartbreaking as Madame de Tourvel. She's devout, she's kind, she's way too emotionally sincere with everyone around her, uh, especially to survive the two that are scheming to destroy her. Her slow motion heartbreak is one of the most quietly devastating performances in the whole movie. Uh, she starts off uh, refusing the advances of Valmont completely, not wanting to get into that relationship, knowing his reputation, but he convinces her that he is for real, and she falls for him, and does things that she would never have done because of her innocence. And then that's destroyed, and her heart is broken, and you just watch her completely collapse from that point on. It's really devastating. Uma Thurman, in a very early role in her career, plays Cecile Volange, the fresh faced innocent who's dropped into this moral cesspool like a lamb to the slaughter. You watch her go from this giggly, naive girl to this hollowed out, traumatic woman, or what's left of the woman. It's deeply unsettling. It's totally intentional. Um, it's it's like watching a child dropped into corruption, and how she responds. All the snakes, converge on her and turn her into something that she's not anymore. It's also devastating. And then lastly, Keanu Reeves, also in an early role, plays the baby faced, sword wielding Danseni. He's the noble idiot, I guess you could call him, trying to protect Cecile. He loves her, but he doesn't know what's happening. He's also being seduced by the Marquis de Merteuil, by Glenn Close's character, while uh, having this love for this beautiful girl. He's the moral compass, kind of. Let's be real, he's a pawn like everybody else. And you also watch him collapse and watch him get destroyed, because he's by far the least intelligent of all of the victims, and just falls hook, line, and sinker, gullible for everything around him. The screenplay is by Christopher Hampton, and it is ruthless. It's adapted from his own stage play, which in itself was adapted by the novel in the 18th century, 19th century, whatever it was. The dialogue cuts like glass. It's witty, it's sharp, it's laced with venom. These people don't speak, they completely tear at each other. They perform. It's theatrical without ever feeling fake. Every line has layers. The real genius, though, is silence at times. Some of the film's most brutal moments are completely wordless. I mentioned Glenn Close's unmasking near the end of the film. She removes her makeup in this final scene, which is obviously removing her mask, removing everything that she's tried to build up. It's very metaphorical. She removes that scene as she starts crying and starts. You can see her face falling as she's removing that makeup, and there's not a single word in that whole scene, but it's probably the most devastating and most powerful scene in the film. This movie hates fairy tale romance. Let me tell you that. It shows you how love curdles when mixed with ego. There's three central tragedies that run parallel in this movie. One is Merteuil and Valmont, who I've talked about before, who they love each other, but they would rather die than admit it, because they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to expose their full selves to each other, and they would rather die than admit that they actually love each other. It's tragic. Second is Madame de Tourvel, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, whose deep love is wasted on um, Valmont. He's a man incapable of reciprocating because he set her up completely to tear her heart apart. And it's a horrible tragedy to watch. And lastly, Cecile and Danseni, the young lovers, Uma Thurman and Keanu Reeves. Their sweet young love is twisted and torn apart before it even had a chance. It's not about heartbreak, it's about obliteration, and no one gets out clean. Uh, let's take a moment for the visuals of this movie. First of all, the costume design by James Asheson is impeccable. It's amazing. Every gown, every embroidered waistcoat, every powdered wig, it all means something. Myrtwil dresses like a fortress. Cecile's costumes scream innocence. So much so that when she's finally uh, found, you know, um, naked, nude in the arms of Valmont. It's so shattering to see because her costume screamed innocence up until that point. Excuse me. The production design. If you told me that they built a time machine for this movie to take us back to 18th century France, I would have believed you. It is that accurate. It seems like every room drips with that kind of wealth, as well as the interior rot that is happening. Cinematography by Philippe Rousselot is everything is bathed in that soft light. It looks like a painting, but one you slowly realize is about despair rather than than glorious art, decadence more than anything else. The direction by Stephen Frears, he knows that he doesn't need to oversell anything. He lets the actors and the script breathe, do the work. No flash, just precision. Every single shot matters. Every word matters. Um, Final thoughts about Dangerous Liaisons. It's not for the faint of heart. It is emotionally brutal. It is deeply cynical, and it's absolutely mesmerizing. It's about how love, when twisted by pride and ego and jealousy, how it can become a weapon, one that turns back on the wielder. It's also just so damn good. It's gorgeous to look at. It's heartbreaking to watch. It's impeccably acted. This movie is a cinematic equivalent of sipping poison out of a crystal goblet. So, what grade am I going to give Dangerous Liaisons? I'm going to give it an A. It's not quite perfect because even Decadence has a ceiling. It is so difficult to watch sometimes that I wouldn't give it an A plus, but it is an A. It is near the top. It's vicious. It's elegant. It's unforgettable. So, have you seen Dangerous Liaisons? Did you watch it for the costumes and stay for the soul-crushing betrayal, or did you, like Valmont, think that you could play the game and walk away unscathed? What did you think about Dangerous Liaisons? Have I convinced you to give it a watch as well if you haven't seen it? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know in the comments. Um, Other than that, uh, see you next time. And please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm putting out these videos. Thanks, everyone.